8 warning signs you are eating too much sugar. 1. You have constant sugar cravings. The fact is that the bigger the amount of sugar you consume, the more sugar you will crave. This in turn leads to consuming even more sugar, which becomes a vicious self-reinforcing cycle. This is because the taste buds in the tongue have become desensitized to it and they now need ever-increasing amounts to get the same pleasure level as before, and also because of sugar's ability to give you a sudden burst of energy which is followed by an equally sudden crush, the same way an actual drug would do. When you're on a diet high in sugar, a hormonal response is triggered in the body in a wave-like fashion, where it takes you up and crashes you down afterwards, making the body crave more of it. 2. You feel lethargic during the day. As we mentioned in the previous point, consuming sugar takes you on a somewhat of a roller coaster ride where at first you feel high and then low. This is because sugar triggers an insulin spike in your bloodstream which causes the initial feeling of being high and which is then followed by a crash. Energy levels are stable when blood sugar levels are also stable, so eating sugar in excess causes spikes in blood sugar levels which lead to the up and down cycles of energy. Eating too much of it also indicates that you aren't eating enough fiber and protein, which are also important to maintain steady energy levels throughout the day. 3. The skin starts breaking out. Because of the insulin spikes caused by sugar consumption and hormonal cascade that start happening, some people can start experiencing symptoms in the form of skin breakout like rosacea or acne. Binging in sugary foods can start showing up on your face in a matter of days. If this starts happening, it's time you reassessed your diet, or you might think the reasons for the skin issues lie somewhere else without checking first and foremost your dietary habits. 4. You experience more mood swings than normal. The crash in your blood sugar levels happening right after the high can be the cause of prolonged periods of mood swings that can make you feel groggy. Needless to say, plummeting energy levels might lead to mild cases of depressions. 5. You start gaining weight. Eating too much sugar means ingesting unneeded calories. And because it doesn't contain fiber and protein, it isn't satiating, so you keep eating more. As we previously said, it causes the release of the hormone insulin, which has a major role in gaining weight. When ingesting sugar, the pancreases start releasing insulin, which then takes the sugar to the organs so that they can use it as an energy source. When you eat too much for prolonged periods of time, the body also starts producing more of it, which can ultimately lead to the cells becoming insulin resistant. Insulin resistance basically means that the cells will no longer be able to respond to normal insulin levels in a proper way, which means they won't be able to use sugar properly. The weight gain you initially might experience from consuming too many sugar calories is further compounded by the acquired insulin resistance. There is a strong proven relation between obesity and insulin resistance. Additionally, the burden on the pancreas for a prolonged period of time can lead to developing diabetes. 6. You start getting cavities. The bacteria in your mouth feed on the food stuck between your teeth and release acid in the process, which ultimately causes dental decay. The saliva is there to maintain a healthy equilibrium of bacteria. However, ingesting sugar can have an effect on pH levels and misbalance the fragile mouth ecosystem. The sugary environment is a breeding ground for the bacteria where they multiply exponentially, which leads to developing cavities. 7. You start experiencing brain fog after meals. This so-called brain fog is often accompanied by low blood sugar levels. Again, this is caused by the sudden crash which is preceded by a high from consuming too much sugar. These sudden highs and lows present a big risk for developing cognitive problems and possible impairment. 8. The feeling of sweetness wanes. Eating sugar in excess gradually desensitizes the taste buds in your tongue. This overconsumption will cause the taste buds to develop a gradual tolerance which will only go up, and you'll need ever-increasing amounts of sugar to satisfy the cravings. When the taste buds have been conditioned to need more and more sugar in order to send a signal to the brain that a food is sweet enough, it is very difficult to go back to the original starting position. However, cutting back on sugar consumption and enduring the initial period of readjustment, you can reduce the sugar tolerance and go back to being content with less sugar. You may even begin to think that certain foods have become too sweet, which ultimately leads to you being content with moderate amounts of sugar.